I want to just remember back a little bit because Gwen reminded me of, how this all started. And many of you in the room are new. There are some people who have been year after year to our conference, but we always encourage the companies that participate in this conference to keep sending new women so that they can get the ideas and take them back and influence the country as a whole. And by influencing the country as a whole, we are influencing the world. Because what we do at the great companies that are represented here in this room has an impact through the global work that these companies do on women all over the world. Make no mistake about it. When we implement programs and policies that support moms or that support women of color, those programs and policies have a ripple effect all around the world as companies put them in place in different parts of the world for the women who are working for them there. So I want you to remember that this initiative, this effort, is for this country, but also has a reflection all around the globe. And I remember that when I had just acquired Working Mother magazine in 2001, 3 weeks later, we all went through the terrible tragedy of 9/11. And in the crucible of thinking about what that meant to this country and to this world, we looked inwardly and said, what could we do at Working Mother Media, a brand new company that had just acquired a long-established, important publication. And we looked at how the Working Mother 100 Best Companies had greatly influenced the lives of women in this country. And we said we need to apply that same idea, the same methodologies that work, the same carrot that makes companies really want to participate with us in the advancement of their own employees. And we realized that women of color was an underserved segment. Underserved because people were talking about minorities and they were talking about women and they were talking about LGBT, but they weren't talking about where race and gender meet in the workplace. And it needed to have its own spotlight. This whole initiative was to provide thinking, a space for us to breathe, a time for us to get together and think, a way for us to develop new programs, new ideas, new efforts on behalf of women of color. And one of the most important learnings that we came up with when we first started meeting with a group of academics, corporate women, entrepreneurs, to formulate this initiative was that it would take all of us, not just some of us. Yeah. But right. All of us together. Be in the room, and that we needed to hear the voices of every group. And so that's what we've done. And this 9th year, I'm so proud that this 9th year we've accomplished so much. We've had such an impact. And the reason we've had an impact and the reason we've accomplished so much is because people like you, women and men, have taken this initiative to heart and have brought the ideas back to their companies and their communities and their families, and have worked really hard during this day to be open and honest and to be very brave. Because it takes bravery to get up on this stage and wiggle your hips, and it takes bravery to speak openly and honestly about race and gender in the workplace, to people who might be your peers, to people who you've never met, to people who are from groups that you may not have ever sat down with and talked. That's bravery and that's boldness. And that's the hallmark and the beauty of this initiative. So it's all on you. It really is for you to make this day work and make this day carry over. As you'll hear in just a few minutes, we have a new approach to our same-race circles and our cross-race conversations today. And I want to give a very special thank you to Gwen Houston for helping us with this, because last year, right at this very conference, we sat in a room that the waiters were desperately trying to clear. That's right. And they took the tablecloth away, and we still sat there, and we worked on what we could do to take the work that we were doing here to a new level at the next year's conference. And that's the work that we've been doing all year on this, is designing this new program. And so you'll see it in action today, and the word action is what it's all about, how to give you actionable items that you can act on. We're going to be tracking this all year long to see how you do and how the initiative does and how the companies do.